All right, folks, part 4 of the trolling portion of the Spring Chinook seminar on the Columbia River. If you missed parts 1, 2, or 3, make sure you go back for some great information and tactics for fishing the Columbia River.
Question?
You want that herring frozen when you're putting it in the brine?
I put it in frozen, yeah. I don't let it thaw out, I put it in frozen. Yep, put it in frozen. So if you cut it right away, it's gonna be hard as a rock and you're not gonna get a good cut on it. So that's why you let it brine, let it soak up, let it firm up. It'll thaw out a little bit and it'll be nice and ready to fish the next morning. Yes?
But you actually pull it out of the bag that has water in it. It goes right in your cooler, into the boat. So when you're fishing, you pull it right out of the water.
All day it's sitting here right like this, okay, in the water, in your brine, because it's constantly brining. By midday, the day I'm fishing, my herring's almost perfect. That's how I like it. You know, so that just tells me that I should do it at 10 o'clock this morning for tomorrow. So yeah, brine it overnight, let it soak up the rock salt, let it soak up the brine and bright, let it soak up the color. You're good. Now, if you wanted to add scent to it, again, like we talked about quick fish, I wouldn't dump a bunch of scent in here. It's got herring smell already to it. If I want to add scent, I add scent on a as-need basis per herring. Because if I dump a bunch of anise in there, I'm fishing anise herring all day long, regardless, okay? If you did 4 or 5 different bags in there, so be it, that's fine. But there's a bait injector that I really like to use. It's a small bottle, okay? It's made by Procure. It's got a surgical needle on it. You can put scent in your bottle, take the needle, stick it into the herring, squeeze it as you leave it, and it adds scent in it. It's not just on the surface, it actually holds into the bait a little bit. So if you want to add scent, do it on an as-need basis per herring. I don't dump a bunch of scent right into my deal.
Did you put up the 2 dozen into one of those bags then?
Absolutely. Yep. 2 dozen. I wasted a bunch of ingredients to do 6 herring in there. It'll fit 2 dozen and pack them in there. Yeah, it's not hurting anything. Just don't toss them all around, okay? And if it's rough out, I put them at the back of the boat. Because if it's rough up on the bow and the herring's up on the bow, they're just getting all mixed up, and I'll pick up my bag and I'll see a bunch of scales down at the bottom. It just doesn't look, they don't look as good when they're missing scales. Yeah?
Generalizing, your soak time ideally is 16, 18 hours?
That'd be great. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you say is the ideal soak? In hours.
How I normally work it is at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, or when I'm done fishing the day before. First thing I do is I get back to camp or get back to the hotel or get back to the house, and I'm doing herring for the next day. That's almost the first thing on my list. Cocktail and herring. Question?
Spent a lot of time with the herring, but on the quick fish, not much talk about the sardines and how important is that bait? Is it fresh, frozen, refrozen?
You will struggle finding fresh sardines. I want good frozen sardines, and I look for the same thing. If it's bloody in the package, I know it's thawed out, and I know it's been refrozen at least one time, and I don't want it.
Buy big cases.
You certainly can, like food grade sardines. You can find them at different, like Triton Seafood, and I know sells big 50-count cases of them. And that's what we used to use when we were in Alaska. We'd buy several cases, ship them up, and use them as needed out of a big bulk bag. It's fine as long as the quality's there. And again, you're looking for the same thing. If it's bloodshot eyes, if there's a bunch of blood frozen in the bag, you can tell it's not good. You know what you're looking for. It's not hard to find out. It's not hard to look at it and see what's bad and what's good. If it's nice and clean, it's good.
What about at the end of the day, cleaning your quick fish?
Yes, I am meticulous about it, and I didn't touch base on that at all. I cut my sardines off at the end of the day, and I scrub them down. Okay, I don't use a toothbrush. I got a brush that's a little bit like a dishwashing brush. Grab it by the bill, and I use Lemon Joy, or I use a non-scented. Lemon Joy seems to work really good. I know a lot of us have heard non-ultra Lemon Joy works extremely good, and I've got it in my boat, in my hot box. I got extra. I use it constantly, okay? I wash my boat with it because I don't want any weird smells. I don't want, some fruity, I say fruity, but Lemon Joy is obviously. I don't want, peaches and cream, Bath and Body Works soap all over my boat. I use Lemon Joy because fish are proven to not be bothered by it. So I scrub the heck out of my quick fish. I hang them up, let them dry, so I'm working with clean plugs. First thing I did when we were done, I cleaned the fillets off and I went back in the sink and scrubbed off my plugs before I put them back in my box because I don't want nasty, dried on, cruddy smells on them. But I think that First of all, being prepared, okay? Rods rigged in the morning, baits ready to go, baits brined. So being rigged, prepared, meticulous, call it ADD, I got it bad. You can see my boat, it bothers me right now because I towed it up and it was raining outside. I'm gonna wash it when I get back. I want it clean because I think it's just the little things that set yourself apart from everybody else. Being prepared, being clean, being organized. That's why I have all these sitting here. I'm not sitting down if I break off and retie in a leader. I grab another one and I'm going. So the little things make a big difference, absolutely. They say that 90% of the fish are caught by 10% of the anglers, and I completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. Good question. And what's nice is from Portland, and I say the lower Columbia, that to me is calf lammet. I don't fish spring fish down at buoy 10. I don't. It's too big a water, too spread out. I don't do good down there. So I say calf lammet. So we're not talking a big area. Driving wise in a vehicle, I could be from Portland to calf lammet in 45 minutes. So a lot of times I'm mobile. If I'm staying down there for a couple days, I'm staying at a hotel in Klamath because I can go here and I can go there. Within half an hour, I can be at either place. And a lot of it's based off of reports. If it was good at calf lammet yesterday, I either go there or I anticipate that they're going to be at the next spot. But most popular areas to fish, let's start at Portland. That over the last few years has gone gangbusters. And you're trolling basically from the I-5 bridge down to the train trestle or down to Davis Bar, down to the Willamette. So there's a great boat launch called Portco on the Washington side. It's just upriver of I-5. Beautiful big complex. Ample parking. Sometimes they're there to charge you $5, sometimes it's free. There's 5 or 6 lanes across. If you get people that are accustomed to launching, you can get 5 or 6 in there at a time. It's quick in and out. Will there be a line of 20 or 30 trailers? Could be, but at 5 at a time, it goes extremely fast, okay? So on the complete opposite side of the river, so we're talking the Oregon side, there's a boat launch right by the Portland airport, okay? I think it's called 32nd Street or 33rd Street. I typically launch it on the Washington side, so I don't know the name of it, but right by the Portland airport, there's a boat launch. So that's extremely popular. Port of Kalama, great boat launch. Doesn't get the pressure that Portland does. Great fishing, great trolling, great anchor fishing. It's off of exit 30, Port of Kalama. Very easy to get to, free launch, okay? Willow Grove, or Rainier, there's a boat launch at Rainier, which is on the Oregon side, right opposite to Longview. Great boat launch, easy in and out, good facility. From there, on the Washington side, there's Willow Grove that they put in 4 or 5 years ago. Huge, big complex. Not used as much as it could be or should be. Very good boat launch. From there, I'm sorry? Willow Grove is downriver of Longview by about 10 or 15 minutes. So you just follow the road from Longview down to Astoria, or Longview down to the Washington coast. Yeah. And from there, calf lammet, which what I would consider the lower Columbia for springer fishing. Calf lammet's got a marina there. They got RV park. They got very popular place to troll. More of a troll fishery down there for sure, but great fishing. Okay. What I would encourage you to do is there's a company called Fish and Maps Company. Okay. It's like a trifold or bifold, small waterproof map.
They got them up at the counter.
Yeah, exactly. Can I use that real quick? These maps are awesome, okay? Completely waterproof. I've had the same one in my box for years and years, and it still looks like the day I bought it. This opens up. You got one segment covering the Hayden Island. So this is the Portland area. I think if I flip this over, yeah, so here's the Astoria Bridge is shown here. So you got calf lammet and stuff right up in here. Great maps, awesome maps. I would have one of these in my boat at all times. It's worth it. On here, it's great. It shows you bottom contours. It shows you islands. It shows you boat launches. It shows you hot fishing spots. Great map to own. It's made by the Fish and Map Company, and they're pretty inexpensive. But I would certainly have one of these. And by all means, if you want to pick up a map and you want me to circle some spots, I'm more than willing to do it. Okay? It's not a secret. There's 8 to 10 boat launches, 6 to 10 boat launches. There's a lot of guys doing it, and it's kind of spread out, spread out throughout. So I'd be happy to circle some hot spots on here for you.
Feel free to do that.
Yeah. How about I just give them my GPS? So just more pictures of how we cut the herring, how we cut the tail. We talked about main line, we talked about leader line, dropper length, flashers, hook size, swivels. As you can see, there's a bunch of different colors of flashers. It's very hard to go wrong. Well, I'll show you what's just in my box, and you'll see it. Pretty common theme here. There's half dozen of them. Doesn't look like it matters as long as there's chartreuse, red, or green on there. If I had 5 or 6 rods out, all of these flashers would be out. So chartreuse is hard to go wrong. It really is. Chartreuse and green. That's the standby. These are all silver backed, just to add some contrast to them. Fishing hotspots, we went over a few. I'll answer those on an individual basis, a little bit easier. There's the, right there, you're right by Portland. That's the I-5 bridge right there. Right below the I-5 bridge. Any other questions or thoughts or ideas? Yes?
You're a rep for Scotty. Do you fish your downriggers when you're down in buoy 10?
I don't. And the reason is, and I get asked this a lot, I was waiting for somebody. To fish downriggers productively, because what's the first thing I told you where you want to be at in the water column? The bottom couple feet, okay? If you got 2 guys in the boat, awesome. Run downriggers, it's great, because 2 guys are in the zone. If you got 4 or 5 guys in the boat, can't do it. Not everybody's going to be in the zone. You can stack them, but one guy's 15 feet above the rest, and this guy's going to be scratching his back all day thinking, why am I not getting bit, where the guy on the bottom is getting bit all the time? So I run lead.
You believe in the black box technology?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And the question was the black box. A black box controls positive and negative ions. Boats put off either a positive charge or a negative charge, especially big metal boats, okay? So the only way to check that, and I by no means know this through and through, but the only way to check that is to check a ground on your boat to see what kind of charge it's putting off. If you're putting off a big positive charge, it's not good, and a big negative charge is not good. A neutral chart, if we were saying ground zero, that's probably ideal. A little bit of a positive is okay, but the only way to check that is to check ground on your boat and see what kind of charge you're putting off. But I believe that there are fishy boats and there are non-fishy boats, absolutely. And it could be as easy as a loose wire on your electronics, okay? But yeah, I think there is something to it, absolutely. Yes?
Can't you just check your downrigger cable with the voltmeter to see if you're,
You could. You know, something else you can do is eliminate stainless steel wire and go to braided line on your downrigger.
I've checked my downrigger before, and it's got the same voltage
As the boat?
and as a black rock.
Yep.
So if you use both of them at the same time, they might be just kind of,
That's true. Yeah. And if you want to get away from it altogether, eliminate the stainless steel wire and go to braided line, which they sell for downriggers now. And it's not a conductor, so you got a neutral. There's no power going down it. So good question. Yes.
Does that apply to fiberglass boats?
It still does. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's as crucial, but absolutely, it still does apply. Absolutely. You're still running a stainless steel wire down into the water that's connected to your boat, that's connected to a battery that's, yeah, putting off a charge. Absolutely. Still could. Yeah. Still got a metal wire going down in the water that's connected to your boat. Probably not as big as the electric, but still, yeah, it does. Yep. Well, thank you guys very much. We're gonna. I need Kent to get back before you guys leave. He's got a. You guys should have got a red card or a red.
Okay guys, that wraps it up for the trolling portion of the seminar. I hope you found this entire seminar helpful, and I hope that you're successful on the Columbia River when fishing for spring Chinook. Three Rivers Marine is Western Washington's destination for anglers. Three Rivers Marine is run by fishermen for fishermen. Visit their website at threeriversmarine.com.